Hey, we are live. Hello everybody, it's AskPat13. Welcome back to another live stream. If you're watching this after the fact, the VOD, I'm no longer live, welcome. If you're watching this live and you're here very early, welcome as well. It's going to be a fun time. We're going to be discussing all things RLCS. There's been a lot going on in the off season, and I haven't kept up with it as well as I should have. There will be some videos soon to catch you all up on Rostermania, but like I said, if you're here watching this right now, we're going to go through it right now. So this will be a bit more ramble style, answering questions from the chat. I've done this before, but not during the off season. There's no results to talk about, although there are some off season tournaments, obviously, but nothing RLCS because we're still in the off season. And we knew it was going to be a long one, but I think people definitely were hoping it would come back by now. But yeah, we had pretty much confirmed to this point that we're in for the long haul. It's going to be at least January till we get back to the RLCS. But there's been a lot of roster moves even after I did a video on it. So without further ado, let me get a couple things checked here. I see we already got some people. Welcome everybody. My chat is messing up, so let me get it so I can see chat. I might have missed some messages, but that's okay. But there we go. I missed a bunch of messages. We got Funi in here. We got Akira. Welcome. Invincible. Welcome, Easton. Funi was here right as I started. That's funny timing. Welcome, Easton K, Invincible, Akira, Funi. Welcome, everybody. Virtuoso and Maxu joining the Gladiators, and Realize. I think it's more not Maxu. It's like Virtuoso and Realize joining Maxu on the Gladiators, and I think that's a great decision. I'm actually really excited about that roster. I'm probably gonna be cheering them on. I think a lot of people knew I was a fan of Elevate. And a lot of that's because of Virtuoso. Wait, let me get it so you guys can see my screen here, and then let's get to the moves. Let's talk about the moves. So it's gonna be that happened. Not even there's so many things that have happened that's probably not even recent anymore. Let me go find it. Or is this rumors? Nope, this is transfers. Here we go. This is the announcement. So for anyone that isn't aware, Virtuoso and Realize have now joined forces with Maxu on Gaming Gladiators. And I think it's super exciting. I think it's super exciting for them. It's super exciting for Maxu. I think he got an upgrade. No offense to his former teammates. Obviously, they did very well and they made one of the majors. So no offense to them at all. They were great players. They also were at Gamers 8. But I think that these are the top dogs in APAC, and I think Maxu joining that team keeps it that way. I don't think it was an upgrade for Vert and Realize, but if they really were having interpersonal issues with their former teammate, for anyone who isn't aware, Kami left the team on kind of a awkward note. They had some kind of interpersonal issues. So given that they had interpersonal issues, it's an upgrade in that respect. I think the team will do better if they're all friends and not mad at each other or whatever. But I am not GC2. Easton, I just noticed your question. I am Champ 1, although not currently. Right now I'm Diamond 3 or Diamond 2, depending on the rank. But I've been Champ 1 in the past. Easton, great question. I actually put out a video about no trading with players, and I think it's dangerous for the game. I think it's not... It's tough, because when I say this, people think I think the game's going to die. I don't think the game's going to die, but I think why risk the game dying in the way they're doing? It just feels like an unnecessary risk, and that's basically long and short of it. I think it's going to cause some people to leave because it's like bad for the players, and some players in particular, it's even worse. So it's bad for us, the players of the game, and it's going to cause some people to leave, which could snowball. I don't think it will, but I'm worried that it could snowball. So, yeah, feed us Rostermania. I will, Funi. I'm working on a video. Your friend already quit. Wow. People are, and that's what has me worried, is games live and die by their player base, especially free games. And if Rocket League is going to succeed, it's going to need to potentially overcome... Let me mess with the music volume a bit. It's going to need to overcome their own decision to drop trading. I think they're going to lose players, and again, I don't want it to snowball. I don't even think it will, but the fact that there's like I don't know how to put a number on it, but let's say there's like a 10% chance the game dies. That might be too high. It shouldn't be any chance though. I think they introduced an element of a negative element into the game there, the future of the game. So we'll see how it goes. I've heard things. I know one pro, Reddles, said something on Twitter about how we're all gonna be thanking Psyonix in January, and I don't know what's coming for the future of Rocket League. There's a lot of rumors. Could be Unreal Engine 5. It could be a Rocket League 2. At the end of the day, they didn't have to remove trading to make that happen, in my opinion. So there's lots of reasons, and I really cover it in a video. I don't want to dwell too long on the trading. So if you want to know my full 20 minutes of my thoughts, check out the video on trading. I made a video about it. But yeah, thoughts on Joreuz leaving Oxygen. I think Joreuz's rumored roster is an upgrade. I think he's going to North America with AJ and Mist, I think I heard. If that's true, that's a scary roster. I think Joreuz and AJ... Now, the problem with Joreuz has always been hours. And Mist is also problematic on the hours. But I think AJ hopefully can motivate them, and together they might do quite well. They might do quite well. Go to Rocket League. Everyone says KDOP or Turbo Pulsa, depending on your personal definition. I don't think you can go wrong either way. Funi says Epic started to pull something out of their magic hat. I mean, they've got to basically announce Rocket League 2 with Unreal Engine 5, and it can't just be an updated engine version of Rocket League. They have to add the ability for people to make maps for consoles. I think they have to basically make like a free, what's it called, creative mode. Like they have in Fortnite. If they had something like that in Rocket League, I think it would really revive the game, because the game, it appeals to a competitive player, but games don't really live or die by the competitive player base, like the RLCS, stuff like that. It's super cool, but what really makes a game survive in the long term is that casual player base, and I think Rocket League doesn't do enough to keep casual players coming back. There's not enough to keep them coming back. KDOP is the GOAT. He was the best in his era. I mean, you could argue Turbo was better, but it depends on what you value. I think if you really try to look at the individual skill in addition to accomplishments, I think you'd say KDOP, but you could argue the accomplishments matter more, in which case Turbo Pulse obviously has that extra world championship. And he also has other LAN wins. It's not like it was just the world championship. So you could go either way. You could go either way. Squishy, add you on Steam. Do I not have you added on Steam? Were you the one that... Oh, someone invited me to play Rocket League. I don't know who added. It doesn't really matter. I don't really add. I'm trying not to add people. Whatever, I guess I'll add 3. Try not to add too many people so I don't run out of space. But I guess I was epic. Zen is too new. Yeah, Zen is too new. So people, I know some people have started calling Zen the GOAT. It's too soon. I think he actually will be. If I had to predict, I think Zen will be the next GOAT at Rocket League. But he's not there yet. He's not there yet. While we're talking about Zen, let's pull it up, because he could be the one, but we're just not there yet. It's pretty incredible resume so far, but it's too soon. It's too soon. We'll see. Zen definitely could be the next GOAT. NA GOAT is Garrett G. Yeah, Garrett G would probably be the GOAT in North America. Longest reigning, won a world championship, which is very important. I don't think you can be one of the GOATs of all, like greatest of all time in Rocket League if you haven't won a world championship, which eliminates quite a few players. There are quite a few great players that never got one, like JNaps. He could have been the GOAT of NA. He just got kicked off G2. You know, we're talking about roster moves. Let's talk about that one. JNaps is no longer on G2. The longest standing player on the roster, no longer on G2. It was announced October 22nd, yesterday. That's the most recent big move of all. And pretty wild, pretty wild. Sam GOAT, Yan. I don't know if Yan's the Sam GOAT. It would be Card Invincible. Yan's too new. Yan's too new. I think Card is the Sam GOAT, because almost everything Yan's accomplished, he's done with Card. So you have to say Card. Mina GOAT Ahmad, that's good. Yep, Mina GOAT Ahmad, that's fair. Yeah, you realize it's probably the most undisputed regional GOAT, because there's no disputing Realize's APAC. I think that's the most undisputed one. Well, if you're going to ask who my GOAT is, Easton, I'm probably going to say Turbo Pulsa, because of the multiple world championships, the most world championships for. But I don't disagree with KDOP. I'm not going to argue over KDOP. I think it's either of those two. I think they're really so neck and neck that you could pick either one. But yeah, I would pick Turbo Pulsa. OCE GOAT Torsos. Torsos is a good one. And then SSA, they're too new, but obviously To Die For would have to be. But they're so new that I don't think they have a GOAT yet. don't think they have a GOAT yet. Ping the server. Yeah, let me do that real quick. Good point. For anyone that isn't aware, any new viewers, I do have a Discord server. Link is in the description. If you check it out, that's where I, post when I'm live. People talk about Rocket League, about all kinds of stuff. So definitely check out, whoops, I lost my, there we go. Definitely check out the Discord if you're interested. I think it's mostly returning viewers. But speaking of that, if there are any new viewers, the goal today is 490 subscribers. I don't think we're going to get there, but if you're enjoying the content, please do consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. It helps me grow and it helps you get notified when I go live. So, yep, 486. We'll see if we get there. I'm probably going to do some Rocket League later, but we're going to start with chatting about RLCS and Rostermania, Easton. But I don't know if I'll be playing. I think we'll do some show matches to end the day at the very end. NBA 2K24 has a GOAT tier where there are 6 categories, 1 to 5 for all-time players, 6 tier for best rookies. Oh, you probably mean for Rocket League. If you want to, Invincible, you can post it in the Discord. Hey, welcome, Sean, or otherwise known as Twisted Tie. Welcome to the chat. We're talking about RLCS, and eventually we'll get to some show matches, but I kind of wanted to talk about roster moves. So, good question, Funi. I've been doing good. This weekend, I traveled up to the Duke game to Tallahassee, drove up, and didn't go so well for Duke, but it was fun for 3 quarters. Other than that, so busy weekend because I was driving back and forth, but fun time. And then just been busy with work, so I haven't had time to make a video, but I'm working on videos, folks. We're gonna keep the live streams rolling though. Try as much as I can to do 2 a week. Easton says you live in Montana. Very, very cool. Welcome, Sus. Welcome to the, back to the stream. We're just, like I said, we're talking RLCS today, and then eventually we'll get into some kind of show match of some sort. So I think the biggest move, obviously, JNAPS. Very recent, off G2. It's going to be Beast Mode, Daniel, and Atomic on G2 because they kind of bought out version 1. So that's going to be a very interesting roster. It's pretty much confirmed to this point. Everybody else has been dropped, so effectively confirmed, even though it's not official. And another big news is Jorius is off of Oxygen. We all saw that one, the writings on the wall. The rumor for Jorius is he's going to team with AJ and Mist, if I do believe. Let me check the actual rumor here. Let's see. Yep, so it's going to be Jorius and AJ on M80. And, oh, JNAPS is the rumor. Okay, I thought it was Mist. That's actually better. I like that better. I think nothing wrong with Mist, but I think JNAPS is a more solid of an option. A much more solid option. Well, Funi, we lost is what I was getting at, but I appreciate it. And then Sean says, your career on 2K24 is garbage. I have only played, I think I had 2K23. I don't think I even have 24. And I don't know. I did alright, and I just stopped playing. I played like 2 seasons, and I didn't win the championship or anything, but I think we got like 2 or 3 rounds deep into the tournament. Like 2K20, those games are tough. They are nowadays, they're designed to keep you playing for sure. The whole my player and trying to get you to buy coins or whatever. Anyway. I don't know about unlucky. What was unlucky is our quarterback got injured for the 2nd time in 2 big games, but that's hopefully he gets better. But yeah, let me talk a little bit more about this. I mean, JNAPS, I'm curious where that rumor was announced because that's a big one. I guess there is no rumor about, but yeah, him joining M80 would be fascinating because M80 recently announced a new coach, Nick, and that's official. They've announced a new coach, and this is the coach, Nick, who is... Almost all his teams have made a major, even teams that weren't expected to make a major. So this is the coach that coached Queso back when they made the winter major, and they kind of like popped up out of kind of nowhere. Not really nowhere, but they popped up. He also coached Dignitas to a major this season. Yeah, well, they don't even show it, but they made a major this season, and then he did the World Championship with the Falcons. Got top 4 at a winter regional. Last season, he coached Dignitas at the World Championship, the European Dignitas. So he's an interesting coach. I think people are kind of split opinions, and it's hard to know how much impact a coach has. But I think they can make waves this coming M80 squad. They got AJ. They've got, if this is true, if the rumors are true, they have AJ, Jorius, and JNAPS. And I think the problem is North America has too many teams with imports is the problem. But if they can make the majors, I think they can be deadly. So we'll see what happens. There we go. As Sean said, I need to stop wasting $50 on 2K. Yeah, you should. If you mean buying the games, I mean, that's up to you. But if you mean spending money on coins, definitely don't do that. Your buffs are garbage. Unfortunate. Wisconsin is mid as ever. Also unfortunate. I'm not a Wisconsin fan or other way. W. Nick says, so yeah, he was the coach for Falcons, as I assume what you're getting at. One of the they had multiple coaches, but he was one of the 2 coaches for Falcons at the World Championship and before, like leading up to the World Championship. And I think he helped them do so well. And I know a lot of Falcons fans are disappointed, but they played Vitality. You can't be upset losing in the quarterfinals to Vitality. Making top 8 at Worlds was a huge accomplishment for them, and I think Nick's a huge part of that. And so I'll be fascinated if he can really turn Jorius' career around. I think AJ's already had a lot of highs in his career. Same for JNAPS. I think Jorius is the one on this potential roster. Let me go back to it. Jorius is the one on this rumored roster that hasn't accomplished a lot. So if we look at Jorius, he's had so much hype, but what's the best he's done? He got 3rd at a RLCS X major, which is basically a regional. He got top 8 at the full major. I mean, he's never gotten better than top 8 in an international land. So I think Jorius has the most to prove, and we'll have to see how it goes. If Rocket League dies, any directions? Well, that's a great question, Funi, and I actually thought about that recently. And the Quidditch game is just in like a pre-alpha, beta, who knows what it's called. So I don't know if that game will be out soon enough. If a game like that's out, I'd switch to that. If Rocket League dies, well, it's really one of 2 ways. Either I'm going to go to another sports game and kind of focus on esports and the competitive scene like I do with Rocket League, or I'd probably go to Valorant. I haven't even mentioned this on this channel, but the only other esport besides Rocket League that I keep up with at all is Valorant. And I'm not nearly as invested as I am with Rocket League, but I probably would switch over and talk about Valorant esports if it came to that in Rocket League. If RLCS died, I'd start talking about Valorant on the channel. I know that would probably lose some people, but if RLCS has died, I'm losing people either way. So, but if a game like Quidditch or another like kind of Rocket League-esque game was further along in esports, I'd go that way too. I just don't think there's any other sports games that are as developed as Rocket League. There really aren't, in my opinion. Like, in terms of an esport and in terms of just mechanics of the game. You love Valorant? Yeah, lag can be annoying. Lag can be annoying in any game, but in Valorant it can be particularly frustrating for sure. But the good news is if I'm talking about the esport, I don't have to worry about that as much. And you know what would be fascinating is Showmatches in Valorant would be very different than Rocket League. Spectating in Valorant takes a lot more skill, I think, observing. Because, like, in Rocket League, I can kind of just let the auto director do its thing, and it's not great, but you don't miss anything. Or you rarely miss anything. Whereas in Valorant, the casting while directing, you can miss a lot. You can miss important kills and stuff, so. Mooney says, I literally can't even play Valorant. It says you have to enable... I don't know what that means, but you do have to enable a pretty invasive, I'll admit it. There's a pretty invasive anti-cheat. And I use quotation marks because it is an anti-cheat, but it probably does a bit more than that. But what can you do? If you want to play the game, you got to install it. When am I going to play? Easton, good question. Probably around 8:45. Probably around 8:40. So in another 30 minutes. As Sean says, yeah, Valorant games can take up to an hour, and they're longer. They are longer. So tournaments in Valorant wouldn't quite be the same, although you get more players, obviously, per team, so it balances out a little bit. I don't watch Rainbow Six or play it, Funi. I have played it, but when I say I've played it, I've played like 4 or 5 matches. So I'm not like, I don't hate it, but I wouldn't switch to Rainbow Six. I'm telling you, it would be Valorant or some newer game later on if it lasts longer. In fact, the only other game besides Valorant and Rocket League that I've ever watched the esport more than like a one-off event is CSGO. So CSGO, especially with CSGO 2, maybe if I did Valorant, I could try and do both. I think I'd have to stick with one. But the only other esport I've ever cared about is CSGO, and I don't watch it anymore. I just did for a certain amount of time. But so I wouldn't be opposed to going back to CSGO, but I think Valorant would be the way I go. Well, no worries, Easton. If you have to head out later, certainly all right. If you can't stick around, but it's all right. You follow Esport of Siege? Well, nice, Fooney. I know it has a developing esport. It's kind of around the level of Rocket League. I think at one point Siege had more viewers than Rocket League. Now Rocket League has more viewers than Siege, but they're in around the same tier. It's just never been my thing, Siege. I don't hate it. I don't think it's a bad game. It's a very unique tactical shooter that's there. It's the best of its kind. It's just not my cup of tea. You'd watch CSGO? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. But I know barely anything about the CSGO scene anymore because I haven't watched it in a couple years. But there was a point during the pandemic where I was watching Rocket League and CSGO. And then Valorant also came out in the pandemic, but there wasn't really the esports scene took a while to develop. There were tournaments, but there wasn't a circuit for Valorant in that first year of the game being out. So I was watching Rocket League and CSGO back then. And then now I watch Rocket League and Valorant. Siege is alive again? Nice. Alright, enough about other games, although I'm definitely down to talk about it. Fooney, I think the viewers on my streams at this time of day, I've noticed are not as good as the weekend ones where everyone can watch. And also, when I talk about, if I'm not doing show matches, the viewership's just lower. I've noticed that as well. But that's alright. I want to talk about RLCS, and more people would watch it if RLCS was on, but talking about RLCS in the off season isn't going to get as many people, but let's talk about it. So another big news is the Dignitas. That's the Mist announcement. The rumor is Mist in Chicago to Dignitas, potentially with Arsenal, and that's just a rumor. It's not even likely. It's possible. That would be fascinating. I don't think that team would do as well. I think Arsenal. This may shock people. I think Arsenal may be the best player on that roster. I know Chicago might be the flashier of the three, and then Mist has been better. Mist had the highest peak of these three, but he's not near his peak anymore. So we'll have to see. League. Well, Sean, I'm not splitting the channel. So I think one of the worst things you can do in a YouTube channel is try and have multiple niches, as it were. And unfortunately, the way esports works is really hard to have a generic esports channel. You really gotta pick one. And personally, I'm all in on Rocket League anyway. I watch more Rocket League. I watch everything Rocket League, and I don't do that with any other esport, right? So I actually have watched the league, but I don't really play it or watch it enough to know anything. I wouldn't know the first thing about league. I just watch the World Championships every so often. Like, you just told me, I didn't even know. I'll probably watch the Grand Finals whenever it happens, just because why not? It's a pretty big event, but I don't know enough to talk about League, and I wouldn't talk about it now anyway. But I appreciate it, Sean. It's interesting how I don't watch Rocket League Esports at work, but while it's on, I think I mentioned this. I was watching in my lunch breaks during the World Championship, during the weekdays. I can't watch everything, but I watch everything I can, which I wouldn't do with another esport. But here we go. Let's talk more. Another one. Oh, this is huge, but I can't believe I haven't mentioned it yet. Dorito is supposed to go to Complexity. And this was a controversial move. I think some people loved it, some people hated it. I don't think it actually makes Complexity better. I don't think it makes them worse. I think it's kind of just a sidestep when maybe they should have been looking for an upgrade. But on the flip side, it keeps the roster Spanish speaking, which I think is a boon. If you're all calming in the same language. And Cioraro and Dorito are longtime teammates. So them reuniting with their best third, I think, ever. I think they've never had a better third than Raze Bull. It could be deadly. It could be deadly. But the only reason I rate it at all is that CRR-Dorito connection. If they hadn't been long-term duo, I wouldn't like it as much. But they have, so who knows? Maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll work. So watching it during lunch isn't watching it at work. Or I guess it is watching it at work, but it's not watching it during work. Because you're not, my lunch break, I'm not on the clock during my lunch break. I don't know about you. But Doritos is a solid player. He is solid. Again, I don't think it's bad. I think it's a sidestep. The only thing that might make it an upgrade is the fact that he does have that connection with CRR, which can't be understated. So we'll see how it goes. Another one, Ampus and Fiber, potentially to join, was it Super Lucky on Pioneers? Who are they joining? Oh, it is official too. No, they're joining Scrub. So Scrub, Ampus, and Fiber. I like it. I think that's a good... I think the problem with OCE is they really need a super team with 3 great players, and they keep getting a team with 2 great players and 1 good player. And not to be mean to Fiber, because I think he's a good player, especially for OCE. This team's going to be winning regionals in OCE. They will. Pioneers. But if they want to win in an international competition, I think they need a better team. I think they need 3 superstars instead of 2 superstars and another great player, if that makes sense. So we'll see what happens there. What else? First killer to Genji. I think that one's been made official, right? Yep, it's been made official. So Genji is going to be one of the scarier rosters with first killer. I think this may be... I'm going to say it now. This team is probably going to win a major, and that might sound crazy, but I think Vitality isn't going to keep it up. Not because Zen isn't as good. He really is that good. But they lost their coach Farah, and I think that may have more of an impact than people are expecting. So it's not a roster move that Vitality, although maybe they might make a roster move. But for now, they haven't made a roster move. But I think first killer on this team with apparently Jack and Chronic could win a major. So we'll see what happens. You're feeling zesty? Do you feel the zest? Well, I feel the zest, I guess, since you said it, Sus. I feel the zest. I don't think we've had too many new viewers, but if you are a new viewer and you are enjoying the stream, please do consider subscribing. We have 4 more subs to reach our goal today. Thank you very much if you're enjoying the content. Let's talk about a few more moves and then we can switch over. Jorfinho, by the way, to Furia. That's a massive move. So, Card is off. Jorfinho is in. I don't know if it'll work out, but it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. I don't know for sure if it'll work, though. We'll see. A lot of these are rumors, so let's swap back over to the actual transfers. A little bit of an NA bubble team move there. Ooh, Acro and Toxic playing together. That could be interesting. Relating Wave is a free agent now. He's going to be an interesting one to see where Relating Wave goes. Oh yeah, Swift is on Ninjas in Pajamas. It's official. So that's pretty massive. Swift is an up-and-coming player from Brazil, a 15-year-old, I do believe. He doesn't even have a Wikipedia account yet. But he is going to be a prodigy. So mark my words. I'm not the only one saying this. I'm saying it because I've heard it elsewhere. But Swift, there's a reason that he just got picked up by one of the biggest orgs in Brazil right now, if not the biggest org in Brazil right now. And he doesn't have a Wikipedia page. It's because he's an up-and-comer, and he is going to be I think he's going to elevate this squad. I think Mata, obviously Astramic, the captain of this squad, Astramic, I think he's going to make it work with Swift. I think that this could be a squad that wins in SAM, and maybe makes another top 4 or even further at a major. That might be a bold call, but I think Swift and Astramic, if they stay together, maybe with Mata, maybe with someone else, will make a top 4 in a major this season. I think Astramic's going to get there. I think he's going to get there with Swift. We'll see what happens. Sus says, I need to put on a shirt with the zest. Funi says, there's no coincidence that the RLCS is delayed until January. Trading is being taken away. Well, Funi, I think a lot of people are hinting at that. And if that does come to pass, I still don't think removing trading was a good decision, but it'll be a little more understandable. The big problem is just the lack of communication about it all. And while we're on this topic, I think this is a really great time to talk about... I don't think I'm going to be able to find it on Twitter, so I'll just go to the Wikipedia homepage. I think this is a good time to talk about the fact that RLCS... I think RLCS is in trouble for a reason that people might not... that don't keep up with these things behind the scenes know about. behind the scenes, Rocket League is run by a team, right? There's a team at Psyonix of employees that run RLCS. And it's a pretty small team. Now, if you may have seen those photos of after a major, they always take a photo of everyone involved in the broadcast. And it's a huge team of like 50 people. All the camera crew, the casters, everybody involved, right? Huge team. Almost all of them are on contract. They are not employees. There is a core of about 6 or 7 employees that Psyonix had for RLCS. And they are the RLCS team, right? Right now, they are down to 2. They had a bunch of layoffs. Epic had layoffs, and they laid off a bunch of people at RLCS, like half the team. And then someone of the 3 that remained was already looking for another job, apparently. And unfortunate timing, but obviously they're going to take what's best for them, and they left. So now there's only 2 employees at Psyonix left. The director of Rocket League Esports, who I'm going to forget who his name is, and one other guy. 2 people left in the middle of an off season. It's a rough sign. It's a rough sign for this sport. I'm pretty worried about how RLCS is going to do, given the team behind it has shrunk so much. Like, 2 people can't just turn around and do the work that 6 were doing. And if they had big plans, it's a rough time. It's a rough time to be down so many people on their team. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Even if Unreal Engine 5 drops, that's what has me worried about RLCS. It's completely unrelated to player trading. It has nothing to do with player trading. But I'm just worried about RLCS because of that. So, that's public information, by the way. It's just something you might not have heard about because it's on Twitter. But if you don't follow those employees, I don't follow them either. But people I know follow them. I follow some of them anyway. So, it's a pretty concerning thing. We'll see what happens. All right, let me find any more transfers to talk about, and then we'll swap it over. What's up, Fooney? You said Pat. I see it. This one's interesting. What happened to Adam Baguette? He's exploring options. He's ending it with Hogan mode. That's fascinating because Hogan mode already dropped Scrub, and I think if they all stuck together, including their coach, it would have been a good squad. I think they could have made majors. When he says Epic Games is one of the biggest, not the biggest games company. Wait, well, Fooney, on the one hand, you are right. But on the other hand, it's not that simple. So, let me explain it like this. They don't pay enough. that may blow your mind, but the people that are qualified for those jobs, that like they could get people, but the problem is getting the right people, because there's tons of people that would love to work for RLCS, but they wouldn't have the skills. And yes, you can learn them. And I think if you give people time, they could totally step into that role and be good at it. But that takes time. And if you're down to 2 people, you need competent people now. You don't have time to give them a year to learn how to do the role. They have to step in from day 1 and fill that position. So getting experienced people is going to cost Epic more than I think they're willing to pay. And that may sound crazy, but it shouldn't sound crazy because this is a company that's literally removing player trading for money. I mean, I don't think they're going to pay. I don't think they're going to be... I think the time it takes them in a hiring process to realize they have to up the pay that they're offering is going to take months of trying to hire people. So I would love to be wrong, but they haven't hired anybody yet, and they just did layoffs. So already the team of 6 was shrunk to 3, for the record, because of layoffs. So they're not hiring people, they just had layoffs. So they're not going to hire people to replace those. So they went from 6 down to 3. So really they're only hiring for one position, the person that left after the layoffs, and I don't think they're going to get him quick enough. I mean, I could be wrong, but again, they laid off people. It wasn't like people left of their own volition. Only one person did. Out of the 6 or 7, I forget how many it was, they laid off everybody and one person quit, and there's 2 left. So Fooney, wait, are you hearing me? They laid people off. So they don't have the money to pay people. They're laying people off. And you may think, oh, they have the money, but the money... I took like 1 business class in college, so this does not make me qualified in any way to talk about business. But the way it works is if you want your shareholders to see profit, one of the ways to do that is to do layoffs. Because your incoming money doesn't change for the short term. It can change in the long term, because if you lose too many employees, it might hurt your ability to make money, right? But in the short term, laying off people is how to get out of a deficit. And that's probably why they did it, is they wanted the shareholders to be profiting or whatever. I don't even know. Foodie, look it up. Wait. Let's look it up right here. Epic. Well, I don't want to randomly Google things. So let me get this. Epic layoffs. And we're going to read an article about it. Because you guys, yeah. You guys think I'm crazy or something. I mean, here. This was published September 28th, 2023. About a month, 2 months ago? September, October. No, a month ago. A month ago, they laid off 16% of Epic employees. So you can find this. Here's the site. You can look it up yourself. They laid off 16%. I'm not kidding, by the way. I mean, this isn't a joke. So I'm pretty worried. We'll see what happens. And yeah, they gave him a compensation package, but like getting 6 months of your salary isn't enough for some people. Somebody's not going to find a job in 6 months, and that person's not going to be happy about this. So we'll see what happens. But I'm worried about the game. That's all. And again, I don't think RLCS is going to die, because this is going to sound doom and gloom. I don't think RLCS is going to die. I don't think Rocket League's going to die. I'm just concerned that it could. And I think if you like the game, I think it's valid to be concerned. Anyway. But, and again, Funi, it's not about being poor. I mean, let's look up Epic valuation. I mean, they are worth market cap. How do I look at the market cap? April was 32 billion. It's worth billions of dollars, okay? Oh, here it is. 5 days ago, 31.5 billion. It's not a poor company, Foodie. It's more about how you look to your shareholders. I don't want to explain business. This is not a business channel, but the point is, knowing why they did it doesn't matter. It's the fact they did it is still a bad sign, even if the reasons they had aren't good reasons. Is what I'm trying to explain. It's like, it's when a business is focused on the short term over the long term. That's what layoffs usually. There are rare circumstances where you need to make layoffs, like legitimately, because you're floundering. That's like the alternative. I don't think they're floundering. It's that they're trying to look good in the short term to shareholders at the cost of long-term profit, because you just laid off a bunch of employees, potentially earning you money. But anyway, we'll talk about that. Enough about that. I don't want to be doom and gloom, so enough about that. But anyway. Sus says, to be honest, it's not even about trading. It's fact we've been promised things. Exactly. Yeah, you're right. They've promised things and never delivered. And worse than that, because both those things are bad. They removed trading. They promised features that haven't come or took too long to come, but eventually came. Bigger than that is just the lack of communication. They have never been good. And after this trading debacle, it's been even worse. They have a guy, what's his name? Psionics Ted. Let me see if I can find his name. Let me see if I can find Psionics community manager. I don't think it's Ted, is it? Oh, Ted got laid off. Okay, sorry about that. There was a Psionics community manager named Ted. He got laid off. I'm talking about Devin Connors. Here we go. So this is the senior community manager for Rocket League. He is the only community manager left, I think, after the layoffs. And he usually is pretty active talking about Rocket League. Like, here he is talking about stacks. He's talked about Rocket League a lot, basically, to say he's a community manager. It's his job to talk to us, right? Here's what he said. Here is the only thing he has said on trading besides retweeting it. He retweeted the change. Here's the only other thing he has said. Not much to add today, other than it's been an incredibly brutal few weeks on the work front. Because it's not his decision. And that's the crazy part, is Devin Connors, the only community manager we currently have for Rocket League, clearly is not being allowed to talk about it. Because if he was allowed to talk about it, he would have said something. But he hasn't said anything except this, which is clearly something that he's saying from a personal, like this is him personally saying it, not as a community manager. But he's had a rough time because there's this change that he didn't make the decision, but he has to explain it. And he can't explain it. He can't explain it because it's a bad decision. I don't want to be too mean on him though, because again, he's not the one that made the decision, but he has to explain it and he hasn't. And I don't know if his hands are tied, but he hasn't. He hasn't explained it. So anyway. So, again, don't make fun of him, but I think his hands are tied. But either way, he is the person we have to look to because he's supposedly the community manager. And it's just brutal. It is bad for him because his coworkers got laid off too. So it's rough. It's rough all around. Anyway, rough all around. So let's say we were promised a roadmap. Oh, I remember that. I remember that suspect. The roadmap did never happen. The thing is, they usually get around to the features they promise, but it takes longer than it should. And part of that is that they're not releasing roadmaps. And I think they did promise a roadmap at some point. Anyway. Enough about that, folks. It has been a rough couple months for Rocket League. Reddles, though, let me get Reddles up because Reddles did have a positive thing to say. I don't know what he knows, but he did have something positive to say, and it's the only positive thing I have seen. Literally, the only positive thing I've seen. So let's talk about it. On October 21st, Reddles said lots of doom and gloom on socials this past month, 2024 is going to be the best year of Rocket League Esports in a long time. Prayer hands. I don't know if he's hoping or saying. I hope he's saying, but I have a feeling that he is just saying this as a, be positive, which is fair. I want to be positive, and I think it's good. I wish I was more positive about Rocket League's future. I wish I was. But we'll see what happens. If we get Rocket League 2, there could be a nice resurgence. If we get more new players, that equates to new viewership. So there's a lot of potential positives. It's just, a scary time for Rocket League. And I think the doom and gloom is warranted. As long as we don't, it's not defeatism. I'm not saying Rocket League is doomed because it's not. It's not doomed. And I think there's steps that they still can take, like talking to the community and telling us what's coming up. But we'll see what happens. Enough about that, though. We've talked a lot about roster moves, about Rocket League, about everything. Let's hop into some games. Let's hop into Rocket League. There we go. Let's hop into Rocket League, and let's do... Oh, I have some challenges I haven't accepted yet. Let me know if anyone wants to play in a thingamabob. If you want to play in a show match right now, hop in Rocket League. I kind of want to just do a show match, cast a show match real quick. Talking to the community is a wild concept, and indeed it is a wild concept, isn't it? Alright, we've got a few people saying they want to play, so let's get them all in. Who else? Twisted Tide. I think we're going to need one more. So we've got 3 people that have said they're willing. Is there a 4th person? Yeah. You don't like Riddles anymore because he's a positive freak? Don't say that. Sus says it's been a rough couple years. Epic came given the game hope, but all they've done is kill it. Yeah. A lot of people were really trying to hold hope for Epic, and I've been one of them. I was hopeful it would be more positive than negative. I'm one of the few people, I think a lot of people hated free-to-play. I think it was good for the game, honestly, to go free-to-play, in my opinion. A lot of the decisions post that decision, not so great. But that one part of it, I don't think that was a big negative. But anyway. And then Kirby said the game has gone downhill since Epic bought it. And I think that's fair to say. I think they gained a lot going free-to-play, and then they've burned through all that, I think they burnt through that extra players. I think they got a lot of extra players going free, and they've lost most of them, in my opinion. I think we're probably smaller player base today than it was before free-to-play started. And I don't know for sure because they hid the numbers from us, but I think that's fair to say. Who are we missing? We've got Foodie and Twisted Tide. We're trying to get 4 people in here. I've got Sus. Oh, I'm inviting the wrong person. Sorry, Suspect. Who else? Kirby says he can only play if we do name password. I can do that. I can do that. The gold DSCs. Oh, gotcha. From the free-to-play rewards. I gotcha. Alright. Let's get into the game. We'll make it so everyone can join. Might as well do Midnight Back with Park. I like that. Just for you, Kirby, the password is the same as the user. The same as the username with an exclamation point at the end. Okay, so Kirby, it's the exact same as this, and then add an exclamation point to the password. All right, let's do it. Let's see if we get everybody in here. Let me also see if Barrel is working. It is. Okay. I'm just gonna do blue, orange. That's okay. I don't feel like setting up the overlay. Here we are. We're into the game. Sorry, Kirby. It's gonna start. They shouldn't have joined, but we'll just run from here. We'll just run from here. Whenever you get in, you get in. Oh, Easton, you just missed it. I think we already have 4 people. If we get to 6, we'll add you in for the next one. So you'll get in the next one, Easton. No 4v4 shenanigans? Yeah, no 4v4. We'll stick to 3v3, I guess. Well, for now, it's 2v2. This game is 2v2, but then we'll do more after. Kirby, I told you. Kirby, I wanted to keep it so we didn't have too many people joining. But the name and password, if you remember the name, is the same as my name. And then the password is my name with an exclamation point. But now we're going to have too many people joining, Kirby. The whole point was to get you... It's alright, it's alright. I just don't want to put it on the screen so we don't get too... We're trying to just have 2v2 here. Although now, blue team taking a bit of an advantage of the fact it's 2v1. No, Kirby, it's all good. Don't feel... But now I feel bad. Don't feel bad. Or hopefully you don't feel bad. Because then I'll feel bad. It's all good. Just get in the lobby as soon as you can. Because it has started. They are in. They are rolling. Any new viewers, welcome anybody. I think we got a lot of viewers on, so we're into show matches today. I started the day talking about RLCS, but here we are into our first show match of the night. We've got RevDirt just joined the match. Hopefully that's Kirby. I'm honestly not sure. But first show match of the night is a 2v2 action. Suspect and Funi versus Twisted Tide and RevDirt. It's going to be a fun one. Tie game here, 4 minutes to go. And it is going to be best of 3, I think. I didn't tell people. But we'll make it a best of 3. We'll make it a best of 3. And that should be good. Let me turn down the music a tad. Hopefully that's a bit better. Let me know if you can't hear the game audio, or maybe if you can. Perfect, Kirby. Sorry about the problems, but here we are. They have taken the lead, and now we've gotten another player in, Johnny. Johnny 2 chips. We were trying to keep it at 2v2. We'll see what happens with Johnny. I might have to remake, which is the problem with this. But that's okay. Oh, Kirby, wait a minute. You got stolen out by RevDirt. Is that exactly what happened, isn't it, Kirby? That's unfortunate. Kirby, are you Johnny? Because if that's so, that's hilarious. RevDirt just yoinked your spot away. We'll get you in the next one, Kirby. We'll get you in the next one. Invincible says, Pat, I just set my GOAT tier list in general. Okay, well, we'll throw it up when I end the stream, maybe. Although, if you're not going to stick around, I can talk about it now, too. I can't tell who... Oh, I see. Yep, I think your list looks alright. I'm going to have to take a deeper look at it in a second. But that looks good. Here we go, though. There was a goal from Twisted Tide. No. The stream has not died. Did the stream crash for anybody else? Because I'm still here. Hopefully it didn't crash, Eshan. I mean, I don't think I crashed. Alright, here we go. 3-1. Let's see what they can do. Twisted Tide is up. Nope. Can't make the save. Suspect puts it on target. And Twisted Tide might have own goaled that one. That's unfortunate. Suspect putting his team right back into the game. Only down a goal now with about half the game to go. Yeah, 2 minutes 34 seconds. Half the game. We'll have to see. Only down a goal. Certainly they can come back. And it's a best of 3. So if they lose this game, they can win 2 in a row to take the series. So certainly not over. Rev Dirt into the corner. He's going to want to hold on to this lead. That's not a great way to do it, though. Foodie's going to have an open net off the pass from Suspect. Brilliantly done. Rev Dirt, what was he doing in the corner? He got a little bit too far away from the ball, and Twisted Tide couldn't make contact on that save. And we've got a tie game. We have got a tie game. Welcome, Roblox Teaching Channel. Long time no see. Welcome back to the channel. How you doing? How are you doing? We've got some show matches tonight. We started off by talking about RLCS, a little bit about the Rostermania, and now we are into some show matches. And we'll have to see how it ends up. But we got a tie game here to start. 2 minutes to go. I think you favor Suspect and Funi, but certainly Twisted Tide and Rev Dirt, they took the early lead, and they could easily get back into it. I'm doing great, Roblox channel. Thanks for asking. I'm having a good one. Glad you're doing well as well. And then Invincible says it's 5:50 a.m. Gotta head off to bed. Why are you going to sleep so late, Invincible? But no worries. Have a good night. Have a good one. You definitely need your sleep. While I was distracted, Suspect did get a goal off the demo from Funi. So nicely done. Nicely done. Twisted Tide wants Kirby in, and I don't think we're going to. I think it's going to be a 2v2. Oh, I'm in the wrong. Oop. It's a 2v2. It is a 2v2. We'll get Kirby in the next one. And then Invincible says, I haven't been awake. You woke up. Ah, you woke up early. Gotcha, for prayer. Well, I'm glad you decided to also stick around for the stream. I appreciate it. Welcome, ENJE. Welcome. We are going to get more people into the very next one. This is a best of 3, so should be over pretty quick, ENJE, and then we'll get you into the 3v3. We're going to have a 3v3 following this, so yes, ENJ. We're going to get Kirby, ENJE. We've got a couple people at least ready to roll for the next one. And you know, this one's starting to be a bit of a runaway. Funi and Suspect combining for now 6 goals. Doubling up their opponents, and it's looking like they might get goal 7 here, although that's not quite on target. The pinch couldn't get in. Certainly we're trying, though. They certainly were trying. That might be one, though, from Twisted Tide. No, Funi does get the save. Rev Dirt trying to make it interesting. And they're going to need to start scoring quick here. They've only got a minute 8. Now a minute 5. Oh, that was a nice shot. Easy save from Suspect. And as the minutes tick away, it is starting to look like a victory for the blue team. I don't see them dropping this from this situation. With 50 seconds to go, with a 3-goal lead, pretty massive in a 2v2 scenario, especially with such limited time on the clock. Rev Dirt, he needed to make contact there, and with that miss, that might very well be the game. Let's see if anything can change. Suspect hits it up off the ceiling. Rev Dirt now's got a chance. He's going to pass it down. No, Twisted Tide. Is he just giving up? Twisted Tide, what's he doing? Is he typing? I don't understand. He ends up going for the ball. That was an odd bit of a pause there from Twisted Tide, and the worst of timing, too. With 20 seconds to go, they really needed to keep their wits about them. Rev Dirt into the corner. Hits it a long way. Suspect out to the corner. No, Twisted Tide makes contact, but I'm hyping this up when the game's pretty much over here. That's pretty much it, done and dusted. Maybe a goal for the road, and we do get one. Funi gets goal number 7. But that's pretty much the game there. Pretty much the game. Alright, Suspect's calling for the 3v2, so we'll do 3v2 next. We'll do a 3v2 next. Just for the funsies of it. let's see how it goes. But then after this, we'll get into the 3v3. We'll start though with 3v2, just because they're all in the lobby. Welcome, Wyatt. Welcome to the chat. How you doing? It's been a good night so far. We talked about RLCS, about the state of the game, which I'm going to stay away from because I was way too negative. But the game's fine. And speaking of fine, it's fun. I should have said fun because that's what we're having right now. Gonna get into the 3v2 after we did a 2v2, but they want to get another player in. Kirby, join the side that lost, which is Twisted Tide and Rev Dirt. So orange. I don't know if you can hear me, Kirby. It's hard not to be negative. Exactly, White. I'm glad you appreciate that. I try to stay positive on this channel. That's probably the most negative I've ever been, is about all these recent changes. And it's not just... I don't want to talk about it again, but yeah, it's a lot. Thankfully, though, the game's still here. It's still fun, and I'm going to be casting, streaming, and following the esport until the bitter end. Hopefully, the bitter end's a long while away. And in a few months from now, we're like, all being like, oh man, I can't believe we thought the game was in trouble. But we'll see. Fooney, this is a nice goal to start, and despite being down a player, they start off up a goal with 6 seconds. Pretty crazy. Invincible says Mystic, and I don't know who you're... Oh, is Mystic Wyatt? Wait, Wyatt, are you Mystic? I didn't know that. I should have known that. How did I not know that? Welcome. I probably know you better by Mystic than Wyatt. Do you have another YouTube channel, or have I just disassociated your YouTube channel with your Discord name? Because that happens a lot. I've done that to quite a few people. I get to know them by their Discord name and then don't even realize what their YouTube. Gotcha, Wyatt's your real name. Mooney, that's goal number 2. That's pretty unbelievable. To get a 2-goal lead, kind of out of nowhere. You feel like Johnny maybe should have been the one to save that. And he nearly was in position. He rotated just a bit too wide. Unfortunate timing. And, you know, that puts him down. Maybe he's got to channel a bit of that complexity decal. Does, who is it? Who's on their team? Johnny. I think Johnny's got to channel that complexity decal to make the comeback happen for the orange team. Or they're going to lose this best of 3, 2-0. It's looking pretty likely. Let's see what happens. Invincible says, sometimes people call you Vince because they don't want to say your full name. But, it's not even close to your real name? Well, gotcha. I don't even have... I've never really had that problem with nicknames, but I'm sure some people hate the nicknames. It's like a shortened version of their name or whatever. Roblox says, how is it that I am... I can't see this. Gold? Your message is covered up. I'll read it in a second. Covered up by the heart emoji thing, which I shouldn't even have. I can give myself heart emojis. You know, let's quickly test things, folks. Let me know in chat. I'm about to do a bunch of hearts. Do you see my hearts? Or am I the only one that sees the emojis? Well, now other people are doing it. But I just did a bunch of hearts. I'm curious if other people can see them. Anyway, it covered up. So let's see. How is it that you're GC? Aha. In casual and Diamond 1 and ranked it. You know, Roblox? I have no idea. I can't tell you. That's kind of strange. If you have the GC MMR in casual, I know sometimes it's a bit higher in casual, but GC Diamond 1's pretty big. It's not usually that big of a disconnect between your casual and ranked, so that's pretty odd. Wyatt says, if you were to recap RLCS discussions in a few sentences, Wyatt, it would be NA in turmoil. Because North America is having a bunch of roster moves. And Europe is too, but North America is more crazy than Europe right now. More crazy. So, NA and turmoil. Wow, that was nearly a goal there. It would have been 3 goals down for Orange Team. Would have been rough for them. Why the 13 and Aspat 13? Well, Invincible, that is a great question. And a lot of people think it's because I made the username when I was 13. Which, I made the username when I was quite young. Probably even younger than 13, but the 13 actually is from, it's just like a family lucky number, which I know for a lot of people 13 is an unlucky number. But in my family, it's a lucky number, so when I was a kid, I made an email address with this, and I've just stuck with it as a gamer tag. Which, that should tell you something. I didn't play a lot of games when I was a kid, or at least not multiplayer games, so I never had a gamer tag until after I had an email, which I think is hilarious. I probably had an email too young as part of it, but I forget why I made an email for something. Probably to play on like one of those like armorgames.com or one of those websites where you have these flash games that don't really exist anymore, but yeah. Let's see. Wyatt says I don't see anything. Oh, I guess you guys don't see the hearts. Unfortunate. Oh, but Invincible can. Interesting. And then Wyatt says, yep, it's facts. It is facts. Gen G, oh, I mentioned Wyatt. One of the things I did say is I think Gen G looks like they could win a major. I think with First Killer, they'll get his first major win with that squad. And if First Killer doesn't, I didn't say this, but I'll say it now. If First Killer doesn't win a major with this squad, I don't think he ever wins a major. I don't think this is necessarily the theoretical best, but I think that him and apparently Jack pair up so well, and Chronic is a really good third for them, that if he doesn't win a major, and there's 3 chances, or World, sorry, if he doesn't win one of the 4 lands this season, I don't think he ever will. If he can't win with them, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. But I think they could win one. I think they really could. What's with the ask? Aha, a great question, Invincible. When I was that same age, very young, and I made the email and the username, I had a website, which was like a really bad free blog. Basically, it was like a blog. And the idea of it, and this is when I was a kid. Oh no, we've lost a player. Twisted Tide. That might be a GG from him, as they are now down 3-0 as I'm talking to chat. But the ask is from I made a website where people were supposed to ask me questions and I would answer them. And you got to remember that I'm a kid. Like, I'm a little like 11, 12 years old. So obviously I think I know everything, but I really know nothing. And that was the entire concept of the website. Really silly. I definitely thought really highly of myself when I was that young. And obviously I did not know nearly anything at all. So that was funny. I couldn't even probably find that site if I tried. It was probably one of those, like, what's it? I forget what they're called, but it wasn't a domain. I didn't even have my own domain. It was something like whatever the website domain thing is, / and then my website, because I didn't pay for anything. It was completely free when I made it. Here we go, though. They finally... Oh, no, they got to go before that. 4-1. This game's pretty much over. Sorry for talking over it if one of you got one of the players. Genji's going to destroy. They might just beat Europe. Oh, for sure. No. I'm serious. I think they stand the best shot from North America at winning a major, and that wasn't a joke, what I'm saying. It isn't just a slight on Versco. Like, I think they really could. I think they could. Because I also said, you know, if he can't win with them, who does he win with? But I think they can do it. I really think they can. Wyatt also says in major contention, very apprehensive for SSG. Oh, same. I think SSG is going to, honestly, it might be a downgrade. Oh, nearly a goal at the horn for the team in blue, but they would have won regardless. Hope the chemistry is still there, says Wyatt. I think SSG probably still have chemistry. I think they have a good coach now. Well, they had a good coach before as well. But, oh, what's his name? Their new coach, somebody help me with his name, but he's a good coach. Former pro. I'm blanking on his name. Invincible says, low-key supporting NA because EU domination is boring. I just want parity. I agree. Parity would be nice. Parity would be nice. Wait. We've got to get more people in. So, let me invite who is trying to play in the chat. Let's get a couple more people. Sad Jr. Yes, Sad Jr. Former pro. Yeah, he's a great one. He was better coached than I expected. And it's hard to obviously to know, but I think that he had to have played a big role in how that roster developed. So I think he's doing great as a coach. People do underrate Arsenal. Roblox, I actually said there's a rumor that it could be Arsenal, Chicago, and Mist, I think, on Dignitas. And if that comes to be, Arsenal may be the best player on that team. And people may say I'm crazy, it's Chicago, but I think Arsenal might be the best on that squad. Easton, sorry, yes, Easton, what is your epic? Yeah, Easton, add me on Easton, what's your in-game name? Add me on Epic if you haven't. And ENJE, what are your guys' names? Just tell me your Epic name and I'll add you to the game. Add me, you know, tell me your usernames. Yeah, because if you don't tell me your usernames, I can't get you in. You're giving up RL? No, don't give up on RL. You probably just had a bad night. But have a good one, Ashan. Have a good one. Don't take it too hard. It's just a game. Yeah, Ethan, you have to tell me or else I won't know your name. Flaky Moose just added me, so we'll get Flaky Moose in. Who else? ENJE and Easton. And then you just have to join. Daddy Lala. Well, that's not showing up. Oh, wait, Easton, you're already in the game, aren't you? Did you leave? Rev Dirt. That's, wait, yeah, recent players. Are you Johnny? Let me add Johnny. I tried to add you. Anyway. Slow? I assume you're in slow. Or maybe that was you that joined. Sorry, folks. We're trying to get people in. Daddy, or ENJE, you have to remind me what your name is on this list. Oh, I see it now. You weren't in the game yet. Okay. Okay, so this should be good. If we get everybody in, this will be 6. You have to accept my invite. Slow, what's your in-game name, Slow? I'm trying to get people in right now. You had ENJE, yeah, but what's your... I think I've invited you, ENJE. I have invited you. You have to accept it. The party invite. And you'll be 6, ENJE. So Slow, you might not get in this time. You might not get in this time. Kirby says it's not letting you friend you. You need a pin? Oh, that's strange. Kirby, are you not in the game, Kirby? You're in the game, right? It's just stay in the game and it'll be fine. Parents control. Wait, so you can't accept my party invite? Well, ENJ, if you can't accept the party invite, you probably can't get into the game, unfortunately. Who are you talking to, ENJ? Are you talking about me? You're already in. Oh. I don't see you in. Strange. I don't have parental settings, so... I don't know what you're talking about. You're probably talking about somebody else's parental settings or whatever. Kirby or whatever. Okay. Here we go. Let's just... If this is 6, let's just do it. Is it not? It's 5? Do we really need one more person? Alright, who is not... Who didn't join? Wait a minute. Somebody didn't join that I invited. And I think it's this person, Daddy Lala 40. You're involved? I don't see you. Here we go. Let's just invite some people. You sent an invite. Alright, I've invited one more person. I think this name might be... Get people... Well, hopefully. You know, we just try to stay away from the politics, which obviously it's a very touchy situation right now in the Middle East. Which, since I mentioned it, and I have to say this now, killing civilians is never okay. And there are civilians dying all over, so... Very unfortunate, horrible situation happening over there. And I wish for peace, hopefully as soon as possible. But here we go. We've got a score. Wyatt now got himself a goal 2 for Orange. And there is, yep, 6 players. So we're set. We're all set. You've been in. Oh, no worries, ENJ. I was just confused. But we have 6 now, so it's all good. I can't reset the scoreboard, folks. I don't have RLCS controls. We'll just have to play this one out, and we'll start another one. Oh, you meant my scoreboard. Duh. That's probably what you mean. I'm silly. Let's make it a best of 5, and I'll probably reset it after this one, if I'm being honest. But here we go, folks. Starting off our final match series of the night. It's going to be a 3v3. After this, I'll probably end the stream. But we'll do a best of 5, and this game won't count. So this is just warm-up. So we'll do this as a warm-up game, and then we'll get to best of 5. Oof. I'm spectating, ENJ. I'm not playing. Oh, do we have one too many people? Well, oh well. Just don't... Hopefully nobody joins. Hopefully nobody, what's it called? Messes it up. Oh well. Okay, Twisted Tide's gonna head out. Perfect. You're not in the private match. What? Well, join it, ENJE. If you're in the party, join the match. Join the match. I think, somebody's headed out. Well, actually, we might have too many even with them heading out. Oh, I see the problem. You're spectating. I see. Yeah, that's the problem. Well, who was the last person to join? I think it might be person Free Israel. I think they're the person that joined last. I'm not. I do believe they were the last person to join. All right. I think that is slow, RL. So slow. You were here after ENJE, so I feel kind of bad, but we might need you to swap out because we have too many people. Alrighty. Sure. Thanks, Slow. Sorry about that. Sorry about we got too many people. But here we go. Into the best of 5. Best of... what did I say? Best of 5, yes. Perfect. Best of 5. I don't even know what the teams are going to be. I think they'll just form naturally. And we'll go with it. We'll roll with it. Let me know in chat if you're enjoying the content or not enjoying the content. Pretty chaotic day today. Just doing random show matches. If you are a new viewer and you are enjoying the content, please do consider subscribing. I stream all the time, at least twice a week. Usually Thursdays and Saturdays, but I'm here today on a Monday. And I do Rocket League Esports stuff, Rocket League show matches like this. And I hope you stick around and get some more of it. Alright, here we are. Me and him can roster. I don't know what you mean, maybe swap. Here we go. Oh, a nice... Oh, I was going to say breakaway, but Wyatt is on the blue. I was mistaken. Brutally honest, you're not enjoying, but not because of anything I'm doing, just because Rocket League's been a mess and you haven't been liking playing it. Yeah, I see. I see where you're headed. Yeah, if you're struggling with the playing of Rocket League, there's not a lot of other things to keep you going right now, because there's no RLCS, there's nothing. You know, if you need a break, Sean, just take a break from the game. And if that means a break from my channel, I'd hate to see it, but I totally understand. And sometimes you just need a break from the game. I've taken a break from Rocket League before. Not in a while, not since doing this channel, but I mean, there have been weeks, especially during the RLCS, where I didn't play the game. I was just watching the RLCS, and I do that a lot when the RLCS is on. So, no worries, Sean, but I hope you have a, you know, hopefully the rest of your weeks or day has gone great, and it's just the Rocket League that's a problem. Sometimes I know you have a bad day in Rocket League because you're also having a bad day. Hopefully that's not what's happening. You and Slow can rotate. Okay, if you guys want to, you can do that too. I don't mind. It's up to you too. As Sean says, yeah, this was your first time playing in over a week. Ah. Gotcha. Well, then I'm sure you'll do better next time. Or if you want to take a break too. Boney does tie up the game here, which is very nicely done and pretty important. Obviously a lot of time on the clock, but sometimes in threes, goals are hard to come by. So a nice early goal here to tie the game back up is important in this first game in the best of 5. Sean says, a lot of your old friends stopped playing. Ah, so you've kind of been bored when I'm not streaming. Yeah, playing with other people makes the game a lot more fun. Definitely can say that for sure, so I feel you. I mean, the good news is, even though Rocket League, it always feels like you have to be grinding. You don't have to always be grinding. The goal doesn't have to necessarily be to constantly be getting better. I know that's what a lot of people play the game for, is to get better and better, and it's a good goal to have. But I think sometimes people forget that games don't have to be played only one way, and you don't have to play Rocket League with the goal to rank up. You can play Rocket League for the goal to have fun. As silly as that sounds, right? Having fun in a video game. But I think sometimes people get caught up in trying to get better. Maybe they want to be a pro one day. Maybe they just want to improve. And over time, the game that they were playing because it was fun and they wanted to get better at a fun game suddenly becomes more about the grind than having fun. And that's where you should take a break, because the game's not fun anymore. It's about getting better and only getting better, and it is not fun. Same thing for real life sports. If you're playing a real life sport, hopefully it's because you're fun. If you find it fun, and sometimes getting better is fun. But if the grind to get better is no longer fun, something should give, you know? Unless it's your job. But for 99% of us here, this is not our job. So definitely don't keep going with it, you know. But I got you, Sean. And I'm not saying that's you. I have no idea. I just know that does happen to people. Especially with this game. Which, if they added a creative mode, by the way, because I mentioned that earlier, I would absolutely love that for Rocket League, because it would help people, at least it would help me, it would help other people as well, not get burnt out on the game. You don't feel like, you know, grinding a competitive experience, but you also necessarily, what if you don't like drop shot, you don't like hoops, you don't like all these casual options Rocket League has, which they already exist, but they're kind of few and far in between. That's what a creative mode would be great at, is people would make all kinds of game modes in Rocket League, and they already have. It's just limited to Steam on the Steam version of Rocket League. And you have to download stuff yourself, which can be a lot. And it's hard to do with other players. So if they added some way to do multiplayer custom maps and custom game modes, people would freak out. People would freak out. It'd be a lot of fun. Roblox said, you just hit an insanely fast musty and then skipped it on accident. Oh man, the worst feeling when you hit a really good shot and you don't get to watch it back. Hopefully you have some kind of screen recording or something where you can save a replay. Worst case, save the actual Rocket League replay. That's what's good about Rocket League, is even if you miss a moment, you can always save the in-game replay and then you have it to watch over and over. But that's a noob. I always want to do that and then I forget to save the replay. So something you can do if you have the Steam version of the game is get Baka's mod and use Baka's mod to, what's it called? Save replays automatically. I actually have replays saved automatically on right now because during Crew Fight I wanted to save all the replays and I was deathly afraid I would forget to, because I forgot to during the previous event, the World Championship. I don't have all the replays and I really need the replays to make a good video. So I have all the Crew Fight replays because they were saved automatically. And the naming convention's kind of wacky, but it's better to have it and you can always find the right replay. Sean, you started hating sports in high school because your parents forced you to do track, swimming, basketball, football, baseball, tennis, and wrestling every year. Well, that is way too many. I don't know why you would do that many. I mean, I have no idea, not to judge your parents, but that almost feels like at that rate you're risking injury more than anything. I feel like most people wouldn't want to do that many sports because of the injury risk. There's nothing wrong. Every sport, or most sports anyway, come with the risk of getting injured. But when you're doing so many, that just feels like unnecessary, in my opinion. Unless you're really enjoying it and it's just at a casual level. But that sounds like you were doing a competitive high school level of all those, which is a lot. Wait, some of those are in the same season. Like, how could you possibly do football and track? Aren't football, track the same season? And then swimming and baseball, they're the same season, and basketball. All three of those, right? That's crazy. But anyway, if you weren't having fun, hopefully you eventually took it down a notch. I don't know if you did. Hopefully you did. Well, what's the series score? I haven't been keeping track. Orange is 1-2. It was a series. But... we can swap it around. I'm not even really casting at this point. I'm just chatting with chat and watching the games. I mean, there were close moments in that one, but yeah, I think Orange was the clear favorite throughout that. Wait, I'm not saying I was not saying Sean was lying. I'm just saying, how did you physically do all those sports? Because it's a lot in the same season, is the worst part. Anyway, Easton played basketball, baseball. Oh, right now you play basketball, baseball, golf, and soccer. That's also tough. Baseball, basketball, soccer seem like a lot together. Golf is something I feel like you could fit around other sports a bit, and it's much less injury risk. But still, you guys are doing a lot. You guys are doing a lot. I don't know what's happening, but I'm gonna just spectate. I'm just gonna spectate. Here we go. Jay says, solid reason W. Wait, oh, what did you say? Your typical Asian parents who saw kids that take a lot of extracurriculars and have a higher chance. Well, that is true, but you didn't have to make them all sports. But that's fair enough. I mean, I did a lot of extracurriculars as well. None of them sports. The closest thing to a sport, which is not a sport, was marching bands. I say closest thing because it's physical during marching season, but it's not a sport. I didn't do anything else that was like a sport, but I did a lot of extracurriculars. But really, even more than the time, it's just you're probably exhausted. Because, like, I might have been exhausted in terms of, like, time spent on some of my extracurriculars, but doing that many physical activities, it's gotta be crazy. Gotta be crazy. Oh, they were all on different days. Interesting. But what about the game days? Like, I can understand practices potentially not interfering, but surely you had a, you know, something on, and you did say, so basketball and wrestling was the only thing on the same day, I see. No, they weren't, but they weren't at the same time. Surely you had a basketball game the same day as a wrestling meet, or did that never happen? Because that sounds crazy to me, that you never had a game at the same time as another one. Or, oh, these were all just after school activities, or were they, like, varsity level high school? I'm just curious which one it was. Maybe you were only on a couple varsity teams and the rest were intramural or something, I don't know. Or maybe they were all, like, junior varsity where you didn't play in as many games, I don't know. I don't know. Easton, you're 11, so you're young. Well, for sure you're young, but... And there's nothing wrong with doing multiple sports, by the way. I'm not trying to dissuade people. I'm just saying it's a lot. When you know, could potentially focus in more on a couple sports. It just depends where you're at. If you're 11, it doesn't really matter yet. But in high school, when your classes kind of matter more, it's a lot to be doing so many sports. When is high school? Not 11, right? I don't remember when high school even starts. 11's too young for that. As Sean says, you're right, but of all the things you took... Well, I already saw that. You were garbage at wrestling. Ah, so you were just watching on the sidelines in actual comp. I see. No worries. Trust me, going to all the practices is more than most people, i.e. me, did. Because I was not into sport at all. My brother was. Interesting thing, because I got to watch a bunch of the games because my brother did them, is my brother was in water polo. And, you know, that sport is way more physical than it looks. That's all I gotta say. And way more brutal. They're, like, punching each other under the water, which is crazy to me that happens. But, man. So don't play water polo unless you're, like, really tough, is what I gather. Invincible says you play basketball as well, but people here in Pakistan stuck. That's funny. I never played sport competitively, but in college I did do a one season of like a intramural basketball. Co-ed, like intramural. It's like, it was just like teams against each other from random college students, and there was different levels, and we did the level with no prior experience. So if you had played on a high school team, there was a level for that. In an intramural, like, league. Like, it was a league. Like, we played every week for, like, 10 weeks. And there was a playoff. Get this, because it's the funniest story to me. We made the playoff despite never winning a game. And not every team made the playoff. There were just so many winless teams that we actually had the best point differential of all the winless teams, which is hilarious to me. That we managed to make the playoff despite never winning a game in 10 weeks. But... we actually had some close games, and I guess most of the winless teams got blown out every time, and we didn't get blown out every time. We had some close games, so we made the playoffs. My highlight moment of the entire time was the one time I made a basket, because that's how bad I am, is I didn't play a lot. Even on our intramural team, co-ed intramural team, I didn't play a lot, and I made one basket, and it was a really, like, that makes it sound like it was just a random basket. I made a basket to tie the game with like a minute left. And we still lost, but it was a very important basket, so I felt proud of myself. But we still lost. But that's to show you how close some of the games were, as we were tying the game with like a minute left. Anyway, I'm talking way too much about old random sports. Let's talk about this match. It's tied up, a minute 45 to go in the game. And this is the best blue team has looked in a while. Although Funi just brilliant air dribble into the net. And he's got this game maybe on lock. Let's see if he can ice up and win the game for Orange. Random fact, says Jay. Roblox says, oh, we got a goal from Suspect. Orange is on top. Wow, kind of not unexpected, but it's unexpected how late in the game it is. There's only 1:38 left. Roblox said, you used to destroy I used to destroy my friend in fights, then he took wrestling and he destroyed you. Yeah, that's how it works. If you get any training, you're gonna beat anybody that's... I'm not trained in any of that stuff, and I know I would lose in any kind of fight ever. Jay says, called you, talk to the John. Oh man, guys, don't spam in general. Invincible says, whack dreams. Your dreams might be weirder. Talk about whack dreams. Another goal to tie the game from Wyatt. Nicely done, Wyatt. Got the game right back tied up. Nicely done. Eagle says, yo, welcome Eagle. Welcome to back to the channel. We're not going to be on for much longer tonight. We're almost done. We got maybe a game after this or two. But welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Invincible says, yesterday you had a dream where you stayed up late, like 1 a.m. and your dead grandpa came out and slapped you to sleep and said, you don't know me, son. Well, that is a weird dream. I've never had a dream like that. Kirby says, this game is close because you're not playing. Very funny. Could be. Could be. Or you playing and you're making a joke about your playing. I don't know. Either way, it's been an interesting game. It's been a close one. Roblox says your dad supports you playing Rocket League and trying to... Oh, you're trying to go pro. Well, good luck with that. It's a lot of work, but certainly not impossible. If you don't mind me asking, Roblox, just for my own curiosity, how old are you that you're trying to go pro? It's not impossible to go pro later in life, but most players going pro, it's going to happen when you're, you know, in your 15, 16, 17 range, or it probably won't happen. 12. Oh, okay, yeah. You've got time to get better. What rank are you now? At 12. I was worried you were going to say you're like older and then it's like pretty much impossible. But at 12, if you put time, it seems to me like you need a little bit more. Like you have to actually be some kind of level competent in the game, right? But what really separates pros from not pros, bubble pros I should say, getting to that level, that like SSL level is just hours. If you have the talent. So if you really have the talent, you just have, it's just a time, it's a numbers game. You have to put lots of hours into the game. Diamond 1 with 450. Well, you're young enough that it's certainly possible. It's hard to name. It's hard to say. It's unlikely because it's unlikely for everybody. So I'll just say it's unlikely because it's unlikely for everybody. Foodie, what a tie goal! Wow, 4-all with 3 seconds to go. Brilliant off the pass from Evolve. Just a solid team play. What a goal! What a goal! Nice one to tie the game here. We might be seeing an overtime for the first time today. Welcome, Seer. Oh, no worries, Seer. Have a good one. Have a good night. Thank you for checking in. I hope good luck on your exam. Good luck on your exam, Seer. And then Roblox said, yeah. Oh, I was already saying that. But yeah, Diamond 1. Yeah, good luck, Roblox. You definitely have a chance. But like I said, it's unlikely because it's unlikely for everybody. So don't bet everything on going pro in Rocket League. But you know, stay in school. Make sure you at least get a high school degree. Hopefully, plan to go to college while you're trying to go pro in Rocket League. There's a lot of great scholarship teams nowadays, so if you do get to SSL, you might be able to find yourself a college scholarship to play Rocket League. And that would be my advice, is definitely still plan to go to college while you're trying to go pro. That's all my only advice. But good news for you is you're so young that you don't have to worry about college for quite a while. Just make sure you don't slack on school just because you're trying to go pro in Rocket League. Blue won in overtime. I didn't hype up the goal enough, but congratulations, Wyatt. RevDirt and Free Israel, they managed to take him down. I think Slow is, yeah, Wyatt, Slow, RevDirt. Congratulations, guys, because that was a close one, and I didn't know if they could do it, but they managed to get the job done and force us to continue the series here. I think the series score is accurate, so they're looking at a reverse sweep, and I know that teams have changed around, but we're just going to call it like it was a reverse sweep potential, so let's see what happens. Invincible says, if you want to become pro, you have to gain attention. The best way to do it is 1s, 2s, orcs as well. Well, Invincible, before you get to that point, honestly, you just have to get better at the game. I don't think Roblox is good enough yet at Diamond 1 to have to worry about getting attention yet. Once you're in SSL, then worry about getting noticed. But you just got to get better before that. And Sean says, let's just hope Rocket League doesn't die before then. Would be a cool goal. That would be a cool goal. That would be a cool goal. If it's unlikely for everyone, it's unlikely for you. Invincible. I mean, yeah, sorry. That sounds mean when I say it, or that's probably what I said, but I think it's true. I think it's fair. As long as you acknowledge that it's unlikely, there's nothing wrong with shooting for your dream, as long as you're realistic. It's this weird, I read a book on this, or there was a book that I was forced to read on this. It's from some class that was about self-confidence, and it was basically, it's like to be a leader. It was really about leadership, but it's good in this context as well. You have to have this really weird combination of complete confidence in yourself without overselling yourself. You have to understand your limits and at the same time have complete confidence that you'll succeed. And it's really hard to do. It sounds like it's a conundrum. It sounds like a paradox. You have to know exactly what your limit is and at the same time have full faith that you'll reach it, basically. So it's difficult to do, but I don't even know why I brought it up. But basically, that's like your best way to try and become like a pro at anything. It is to manage the confidence with the realistic expectations and really not give up despite realistic expectations. And if you can do that, you're giving yourself your best shot to become pro. Something I see all the time, Rizzo talked about it on the Chalks podcast, is there are bubble pros that are really good, but they're never going to take it the next step because they have too big of an ego. And if you have too big of an ego, it's going to be really hard to make it all the way and become a true pro. And that happens to a lot of bubble pros. They get pretty far. They're making it to RLCS closed qualifiers even, but they're never going to make it further because they can't find a good team because they have too big an ego. So, make sure you balance the ego with the realism. It's hard to do, but anyway, that's my advice. That's difficult advice to follow, so it probably doesn't help much. Anyway, you do a Celis Academy. I might look it up. Hopefully, if it's something Rocket League related, hopefully you're not paying, or if you are paying, it's not expensive, because some things are way too expensive. So don't get scammed, by the way. But as Sean says, another funny story, I got into top university in Japan 2 out of 4 years paid for, or maybe you meant 2 to 4 years, I don't know. But you couldn't go because you didn't meet Japanese speaking requirements? Well, how'd you get in if you didn't? That's funny. That's a crazy story because I know in the US you have to take a test to prove that you can speak English for most schools. So I'm surprised they didn't have something like that in Japan, and they wouldn't even accept you if you didn't pass that test. But that's crazy. Unfortunate. If you wanted to go, that's sad. Sorry you didn't get to go. That's why it's for... Oh, no. Does he have too much of an ego? Is Asfura the one that was FSU player, or is that his teammate from Team Twitter, Fisher? That's Fisher. Okay. Asfura's UCF, right? Oh, yeah. Both of them are Florida schools, which is funny to me. I was rooting on... That's random, but thinking of Asfura, the thing I know most about him is when he was playing on Team Twitter and they made it pretty close to RLCS, I was cheering him on. I say pretty close. I think they made it to day 3 of open quals. And I was cheering him on. It would have been fun with Spuda. It was a fun team to cheer on. Jay says, Twisted has the most wild stories ever. Traveled like 20 plus countries and a good player in chess and multiple outdoor games and now top university in Japan. I mean, I don't think anything's been inconsistent. He did say he didn't go to the top university in Japan. What is the top university in Japan? Now I'm just curious. Roblox says, it's my school. You do online school. Oh, it's Celis Academy. Oh, okay. I can look it up. I see you do online school. Well, that's great if you want to play Rocket League, because online school, you'll get same education, but you don't have to worry about travel time. Like, the sad reality of I've discovered of working life is, like, I love my job, but I hate the commute. Commuting and traveling between places takes a lot of time. So if you're doing school online, that gives you more time to play Rocket League, for sure. So, good stuff. Invisible says, if I go to Ireland and live there for a few years, you can go to the colleges. Nice. Oh, for free! How do they give you private tuition for free? That's interesting, because the US doesn't have anything like that. Private schools are completely separate from public in terms of funding like that. Well, I guess there is The federal government has a thing called a Pell Grant, but it's not a full ride, that's for sure. As Sean says, they did and you passed it, but then you made you take another one. Oh no! How would you pass one and then fail the other? I'm sorry, Sean, that's unfortunate. But if he makes you feel any better, it probably would have been difficult. I don't know, maybe you knew it, maybe you were actually fluent. But assuming you weren't fully fluent in Japanese, it might have been difficult to learn in Japanese, because you probably would have had to learn in Japanese, so that would have been difficult. But I mean, that's one way to learn Japanese very well, so I'm sure you would have learned Japanese very well by the end of it. Unfortunate if that's what you were trying for. And then Twisted says you should watch more watching more anime. You know, funny enough, television and like in general media is a way that people learn other languages. I know that's how most people learn English from around the world. Or not most people. Maybe most people. A lot of people learn English by watching English media. So the same is true. Yeah, you definitely can learn Japanese from watching anime. Not fully, but you can like supplement learning with anime for sure. It'll help. It's a guaranteed scholarship if you get in. Oh, I see. Funi! Oh! Taps on goal number 4 to make it 4-1. Brilliantly done. Nice goal. And that's just a nice game. A nice series. Maybe we'll end it there and I'll talk to chat for a bit. But GG's. Thanks, everybody. That's it for now. We're going to chat, though, because we have more to chat about. But that was fun. It's probably an abrupt end. Oops, I'm going to do it this way. Probably an abrupt end to the stream, but I wasn't meaning for this stream to go super long. I know it's a short stream, but this is kind of a makeup for the weekend. And I am sorry I missed Saturday and Sunday, unfortunately. But we're here now. You weren't fully fluent, but you knew common words. I see it, Sean. It would have been a struggle, but I definitely know by the end of it, you definitely would have known Japanese. That's for sure. Even if you failed, if you failed your class, at least you would have learned Japanese. But anyway, look at the tier list. Yes, let's do the tier list. One moment. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna open it up and look at it on stream. So one moment. We'll do that here before we end. Here we go. There's no good way to do this, so let me move my camera. Alright, here we go. Speaking of that, one last thing before we, get the end of it. Oh, wow, we've got a lot of people. Welcome anybody new. We just had a burst of viewers. We're going to be going through a tier list that one of my viewers made on the GOATs of Rocket League. GOATs of RLCS. So, this was a list from, what's his name? Invincible. But anyway, if you're enjoying the stream, by the way, if you're enjoying the content, the goal is to get to 490 subs today, and we are 4 short. So, if you want to see more like this, please do consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. But here we go. Let's talk about the GOATs of Rocket League. Let me update this. I don't think we're going to talk about it long, but let me update. Let me just update the title. GOATs of RLCS. We'll end it quickly with a discussion about this. And again, this is not my tier list. This is Invincible's tier list. But let's talk about it. So he has K-Dop and Turbo Pulsa at the top. Then he has Garrett G, Squishy Muffins, Monkey Moon, Violent Panda, Justin, and J-Naps in tier 2. Following that, he's got Seiko, Alpha 54, Vatira, Rise, Chicago, Itachi, Ahmad. Interesting. So he has a mod. I like a mod here. I do, actually, because I think a lot of people are going to underrate Mina in a list like this, but they've been around the scene so long. On the flip side, you have some newcomers here, like Itachi. Well, actually, Itachi's not even really a newcomer. I wouldn't count him. But you've got newcomers like Seiko, Vatira, and Rise. And I think this is interesting. Trying to decide if it's too high for some of these players. Let's keep going. Then we've got Ocalid. We've got, I believe that's, well, I always struggle to tell Card and Yan apart. I think that's Yan and that's Card. Then that's Atomic. Then that is Zen. And that is TRK or Turk. Or I think it's TRK now. Again. And then that is Torment. This is interesting. Longevity is a factor. For sure, it is a factor. Let's keep going. We've got Extra, we've got Kronovi, we've got Kuxir. You got some legends down here, a bit low. First Killer, and then, is that Sipical? I believe that's Sipical. And then in the rookie category, which is interesting, I like having a rookie here. We've got KV1, we've got Trefino, Nupo, that's, is that Venom? Obviously, we've got the twins. Rawas and Killers, or Killers, I think it is. So, I think this is great. I don't know if you put Venom in. Card is on here. Card definitely makes sense. Whoa, Sean, are we talking about the ghosts? For the record, I think you would switch some of this around. But if you're going to have a GOAT from South America, it's 100% Card. He's been around the scene way longer than Yan, and everything Yan has accomplished, this is the biggest point, because I value accomplishments almost more than individual skill. Individual skill really matters. Your peak individual skill is kind of what matters. And if you take Card's peak individual skill and you look at his accomplishments, he's going to beat Yan. He's literally done everything Yan has done, he's done with Card. He's finally dropped Card, but up until now, he's been playing with him for all the biggest moments. So I think you've got to put Card higher than Yan. I mean, come on, even if Yan has a higher individual peak, Card's peak is much higher than he is right now, and then you add in all his achievements, and anyway. Well, let's swap some things around. So if I were to change the list, whereas apparently Jack is a great point, if I were to change the list, there's a few things I would do. Number one, I think you bump up these four, Extra, Kronovi, Kuxir, and First Killer, up a tier, and you take down Yan, Zen, and TRK. Because it hasn't been long enough. And yeah, take down them. Then you bump up Torment. This is tough. Probably bump Squishy down. Bump Squishy down. Bump Alpha 54 up. And that might be, that's about where it is. I mean, I'm not saying anything crazy. I don't think anyone is really off. Maybe Kronovi is pretty off. I think you bump Kronovi up two lines. And then we're probably missing somebody really important. So let me think. Because you always forget somebody. So let me look at like RLCS season. I'm going to look at old RLCS winners. Marky Duda. Does he make the list though? Probably not. It wasn't long enough. What about Remco or Devo? You could argue they make a list like that. Fairy Peak? You're missing Fairy Peak. You're missing Rizzo. I'm kidding. Probably not Rizzo. Definitely not Rizzo. And you're missing Gimmick. Because if you're going to have Torment and Squishy on the list, Gimmick probably makes it at least to the top. Scrub Killer? Oh boy, I think we're missing Scrub Killer. And I know he only had one World Championship. But, I mean, let's talk about it. I mean, across these 3 seasons, and he got second in a couple big, off the circuit tournaments. I think you got to put Scrub Killer on there. So take Sipical off. I was considering it. Take Sipical out. Probably take Zen out because I think he's just too new to be on this list. Put in Gimmick and put in, who was that? Scrub Killer. Anyway, that's pretty much it. What do you guys think? Wait. You guys are saying a lot. What about Nolly? Oh, Jack. I forgot about Jack and Fairy Peak. I think Nolly... Oh, this is so hard. I'd have to think a lot harder about it than I'm doing right now, and it's so late and I'm tired that I'm not going to make a great list. But I agree, Fairy Peak, Jack, Nolly, all in the conversation, and especially apparently Jack would be on this list for sure, and Fairy Peak. Both of them would be on this list, I believe. Zen at tier 3? Whoa, whoa. Slow. This is the greatest of all time. I think Zen is too new to be on the list, in my opinion. I think one split, no matter... He literally had the perfect split, and I still think it's too soon. Because I think he's done his absolutely most you could ever do in one, literally, like physically, the most you could do in one split, and I still think it's too soon for Zen to be on this list. He will be, for sure. It's just, let's wait and see how well he does. Chaussette is another good option. Chronic. I don't know about Chronic. I think the problem with Chronic, and it's not a problem, is just, you know, both Nolly and apparently Jack have done a lot more than him for a lot longer. So I don't think Chronic can quite make it. Alright, enough about that though, because this was pretty much end of stream. I'm going to pretty much call it here. But if you did enjoy the stream, thank you so much for watching either way. But, you know, if you enjoyed the stream, please do consider subscribing. I'd love to hit our goal today. We're not going to at this rate. But anyway, I've appreciated all my returning viewers. You guys are what makes this stream keep ticking. So thank you all so much for being here. It's been a lot of fun. Life quote. Oh man, we haven't done this one in a while. Suspects asking for another life quote. What was the last one I said? I don't even remember. But I think the life quote I'll give is something I was saying earlier to Roblox. And that's, if you want to be successful at going pro in anything in life, be it a sport, be it Rocket League, just be it hitting your dream job or whatever, try and balance. It's like, there's a word for it from a book I read that I'm not going to remember. But basically, you have to balance being fully confident in yourself with not being cocky, not being overconfident. Know your limits, but at the same time, never lose faith in yourself. Which is hard to do. That's what makes it hard to succeed. You know, that's why... And it also... I mean, I'll just admit it. I mean, it's more than that. Obviously, you got to get a little bit lucky. But setting yourself up to receive that luck in the best way possible is when you're when you're completely confident without being overconfident and knowing your limits. But anyway, that's my advice. Set yourself up to take luck and run with it whenever it appears. There you go. That's like a double quote. You guys got 2 for the price of 1. L quote. That's not an L quote. I was wondering what is Jay talking about? And he's talking about the list still. I like the list. I think there's some things that are wrong with, like, I would change, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. Bad list. It's Invincible's list. Alright, folks. It was a fun stream. I'm going to end it here, but thank you all so much for watching. It's been an absolute blast, and I will see you guys around the same time on Thursday for our usual streams. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys then. Good night, folks. Have a good one.